Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan.
And I'm Adam.
And today we are finishing off A Silent Voice. We have had a lot to talk about in the first two parts. A lot of reflection happening, you know, extreme anger on my part at the beginning, morphing into, you know, a mixture of feelings, frustration.
It's just like you kind of see that most people want a good outcome, but the lack of communicating effectively, the inability of seeing somebody else's point of view, the
lack of accountability.
Yeah, it's just, but I think that that's pretty like true to real life. Like these things happen all the time. There's miscommunications, there's good intentions with bad outcomes, there's, I don't know, it's really well done, but it's not necessarily enjoyable to watch. Does that make sense?
It makes you examine yourself.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Yeah.
It's making me think, you know, about a lot of things. I will say my favorite character is Yuzuru, for sure.
Yeah.
She is a bright light in this. Grandma recently passed away. That's where we left off last week. So I feel like that was kind of, it hasn't been like the happiest movie, but I feel like that was kind of like the edge of the cliff and things could potentially get worse. I'm hoping that's not the case, but the friend group that was trying to reconcile, trying to get back together has fractured yet again. And we're just not sure how the pieces are gonna fall here.
Yeah. And you don't really know what Nishi's relationship was like with her grandma. I'm sticking with the nickname.
I love that you just made that up.
And that's the camp counselor move, where you just give somebody a nickname because you can't remember or pronounce their name in this case. So you don't know what that relationship is like, what impact that's gonna have. Like, it seems like a single mom situation, and she's always yelling at me. So, like, that was probably a big support system, losing your mom in that situation. Like, oof.
Yeah. Let's see. We're on the home stretch here. So let's hang tight. Part 3 of A Silent Voice is coming right now.
Anywhere.
Okay.
そんなわけねえじゃん。なあ西宮、明日は 明日も遊ぼうな、西宮。西宮は私と一緒にいると不幸になると言った。西宮を不幸にしたのは俺なのに。海が見たい人を愛したい怪獣の心は取り返しつく気がしない。西宮、おう、今日はゆずるも一緒だな。よし、映画でも行くか。
Oh boy. She might.
What?2人して勝手に。そういえば次の火曜日花火大会だぜ、石田。
俺はいいよ。
行こうぜ。
I'm feeling impending doom.
Yeah.
ここでいいかな。
いい。
They're all watching them alone. That's sad.
Yeah.
あ、俺焼きそば買ってくる。ついてきてよ。
Oh boy. Feel a handhold coming.
ありがとう。あ、この間家に呼んでくれてありがとう。おばさん、あ、うん、喜んでたかな。基本無表情だったけど。西宮の誕生日はいつ？6月7日ってもう過ぎてるじゃん。そっか、もう西宮は18歳なんだな。来年はちゃんと一緒にお祝いしような。あ、一緒にって言っちゃった。そっか、なるほどな。そっか。どうしたの？え？ 花火まだ終わってないのに。勉強。そっか。あ、俺送るよ。でも
I'm confused.
そっか。じゃあまたな。
あれ姉ちゃんは？あ、そうだ石田。
No, this I don't know.
What just happened?
I'm worried that she's gonna kill herself.
What's giving you that impression?
Because she was like, I make everything worse, I make everything bad for you.
Do you think she feels like she's dragging him down now?
Maybe. For her to just leave like that is like suspect.
And we don't know.
Nobody else knew she was leaving.
Nobody, but you couldn't even tell what she was saying to him. Like studying, maybe he misinterpreted. I was so confident that there was going to be like a little shimmy and like a handhold.
No, she thinks she makes everything bad for him. I don't have a good feeling.
Ugh.
No.
西宮入るぞ。あったあった。充電の。こっから花火見える。西宮
No.
いるじゃん。西宮
Stop it. No.
ちょっと待って。何してんの？西宮
Don't take your shoes off, man. You're okay.
西宮
Dude, do something.
西宮 西宮 なんで西宮西宮さくま神様どうかもう一振り俺に力をくださいもう嫌なことから逃げたりしません明日からみんなの顔をちゃんと見ます明日からみんなの声もちゃんと聞きます明日からちゃんとするから
Are they both gonna go over?
ああ、あの時つけた傷俺ちゃんと謝ったっけ
Dude, just pull her up.
Or swing her. What about both?
まだ怒ってるあ、しまったな西宮に俺のことどう思ってるのか聞いとけばよかったちなみに西宮俺はさ
きょうちゃん、お姉ちゃんとパンケーキ焼いてくれたの？マリア花火見るよ。
冷た
You gotta be kidding me.
I don't even know what to say.
Well, I was worried that they were both gonna fall over. But then the fact that she grabbed on. Oh.
I'm stunned. Well, he's clearly okay. Like, not okay, but like.
No, he's probably paralyzed. If he's even alive.
And she's just gonna feel so guilty.
There's nothing for him to grab onto.
It's crazy how the guilt just goes on and on and on and just keeps circling without a stop, and then just causes all of these decisions. it's a horrible cycle to watch. What are you thinking?
I think Shoya's mom is really great.
I was thinking the same thing.
And I think Ueno is like the antithesis of her.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and not the time. Like, even if you are angry, like, he's in the hospital. You don't know what's wrong with him. You don't know how he is. Like, if anything, like, that's the time when everybody just needs to be together. You know what I mean?
and if anybody I feel in this situation has the right to like cast blame or feel like someone's responsible, it's his mom, not her.
Well, and that's the thing is like, what I was thinking watching that was, it just takes one person to show some
Compassion.
grace, compassion. You know what I mean? Like, he's a bully, you know, and rightly so. Nishi's mom comes after him and the family, and like, you want to protect your child, you know, and then it circles around, and now she feels guilty because he saved her daughter. It's just, it's wild.
Since when are you the gatekeeper?
金抑えてやがる。あ、西宮さんいたの。あっち行かない。
I like him.
ジュースおごっし。ヤショウとのこと聞いたよ。それって橋でのこと？ヤショウはさ、俺みたいなやつ受け入れてくれたんだ。親友ってこういうものなんだって初めて知ったよ。ヤショウは僕のビッグフレンドだから目を覚ましてもらわなきゃ困る。
辛いから死ぬなんてどうかしてる。
河合さん、声がでかいよ。
大きい声出さないと聞こえないの、西宮さんには。みんな心配してたのよ。誰だって生きてれば辛いこともあるの。でもみんなそうでしょ。だから自分のダメなところも愛して前に進んでいかなくちゃ。
無事でよかったね。
そっか、みんなのところ行ってきたんだ。すごいね。私自信ないよ。
There's a lot of flower imagery in this too. There's flowers everywhere.
Oh, I didn't. I mean, I noticed it now you tell me, but it didn't stick out to me. It's an interesting way of, I don't want to say honor him because he's still alive, but again, she feels responsible.
That's the thing, is like, from the outside, I would never place blame on her. Like, I understand the immediate sort of occurrence. I can understand her feeling responsible in some way for that, but as far as like the bridge and stuff, like the fact that he chose to call people out, the fact that he chose to stand up for her, I don't think she has to feel bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't know.
But I mean, can you empathize with feeling like things around you go sideways and feeling like you're the cause? Like, whether that is factual or not, like that's the way she feels.
But like, she can't control the way she was born. And
True.
it's almost like she's apologizing for that, and I don't think she has to. Like, that's completely out of her control.
Yeah.
But people's responses to her were controllable.
Yeah.
And because they did not respond to her in an appropriate way, I don't think she needs to take responsibility for that.
No. And do you think she's doing that, or do you think she's trying to honor a friend? It's like, that's what he tried to do at one point, so I'm going to try and do it as well.
I'm sorry, where's the supervision?
If anything happens to either of them now,
No, I'm like, this
I'm
cannot
out.
be a Romeo and Juliet situation.
Yeah. 大丈夫？うん、よかった、無事で。西宮、俺もう元気だよ。大体は。そんな顔しないでよ、西宮。あ、そうだ、西宮さん、ごめんなさい。昔のことちゃんと謝ってなかったから。その後のこととかいっぱい。俺さ、多分君のこと都合よく解釈してた。もっと話がしたかったんだ、君と。多分それだけ。なのに俺は君を傷つけて、結果最悪な選択させちゃって。
違う、まだ手が変わらなかったから、あなたが落ちた全部私のまだ手がひどくなればいいんだ。ごめんなさい。
泣かないでよ、西宮。ねえ、西宮。俺、さっきまで君と話してた。夢の中で諦めようと思ってたみたい。いろいろ。でも違った。俺もずっと西宮と同じこと考えてたけど、それでもやっぱり死に値することじゃないと思ったよ。みんなにもちゃんと謝りたい。あのさ、西宮、俺君に生きるのを手伝ってほしい。西宮。あれ、キモいことやっちゃったな。やばい。ごめんね。忘れて、西宮。今の忘れて。
I find the language interesting, and I don't know if this is translation or how it works, but there's a lot of I interpreted or I didn't interpret you correctly. I'm curious what if that's the actual translation or if there's a deeper meaning behind that, because that's happened between a couple characters. And is that just like I didn't think about it from your perspective, or I didn't think about you in that moment, or I didn't like, I'm curious what the like concept behind that word is.
Fair.
What do you think?
The dream state also keeps coming up in this.
Yeah.
It's like the fish, the flowers, the dreams, like
I kind of felt the same way when we watched Your Name. Like there were like I feel like I haven't watched enough anime movies to like grasp all of the underlying things that are happening. But I would agree that those themes are running throughout it.
いましたよ。
おーマリア、お花に水やってたのか。偉いな。
マリア、翔ちゃんは生き返ったんだよ。
死んでないよマリア。
あら、上野さんじゃない？
Oh boy.
あの子ずっと翔ちゃんの看病してくれてたのよ。お礼言っときなさい。
お見舞い来てくれてたって。
私さ、ダメなやつなんだ。こんな状態になってやっぱり余計に西宮さんのこと好きになれなくてさ。ならなくてもいいのか。あ、石田が落ちた時あんたのこと引っ張り上げたの島田たちだから、黙っとけって言われたけど。石田、おかえり。じゃあ帰るわ。
ありがとう。
I mean, I don't think you have to like everybody, but there's some basic human
これくらい
respect.
の
I
方
was
が
thinking
可愛い
the
わ
same
よ。
thing.
あ、翔ちゃんおかえり。お邪魔してます。
いらっしゃいませ。
石田くん、
はい。
ごめんなさい。
あ、いや、こちらこそ。
That's
そ
the
う
mom.
よ、うちのは無敵だから。
お母さん、マリア、迎えに行ってくる。
はーい。どれ？
こんにちは
上の子の旦那、
いらっしゃい
帰ってきたの。あ、翔ちゃん、ゆずちゃん上に来てるよ。冷蔵庫のゼリー出してあげて。よ、
おお、冬服似合ってんじゃん。
見たまえ、石田。
え、おお、マジかよ、すげえな。
そしてこれも見たま
お、マジかよ、すげえな。
え。ご承田だな。俺に勉強を教えておくれ。
お、いい
Look, I
ぜ。
took this great picture, but I'm terrible at school, so.
学校行き始めたんだな。
翔子にきっかけ作ってもらった。まあ、なんとかやってみるよ。期待に応えたい。明日から学祭なんだって。
ああ、そうだよ。
I'm not funny to joke about in this movie. She's super cute.
Yeah.
入院してた人でしょ。あの飛び込みの。
初めて言うけどさ、俺学校で浮いてるんだ。
Me either.
なんか人の顔見れなくてさ。だから実は下向いてると楽。下向いてていいって。西宮、俺普通に歩くよ。ありがとう西宮。俺のクラスここ。
お湯って沸いた？あとちょっと。石田くん？石田くんじゃん。もう大丈夫なの？
西宮、俺ちょっとお腹痛いかも。ごめん。やしょ。お、やしょ。長塚君、やしょ、お腹が痛いの。やしょ。いや、長塚君、おはよう。元気だった？この間は。やしょ、なんで下向いてるの？あれ、おかしいな。本当はちゃんと顔合わせるつもりで来たんだけどな。ビビったかな。ねえ、やしょ。石田君、よかった、無事で。君があのまま目を覚まさなかったら僕の全てが終わってしまうところだった。いやしょ、橋の上でことは気にするな。あんなこと生きてりゃ何とでもあるさ。だからやしょ、頼むからもう遠くへ行かないでくれ。お願いだから。長塚君、ごめん、本当にたくさん。あとありがとう。いやしょ。あとそのヒゲどうしたの？願掛けだよ。君が早く目覚めるようにって。
The prayer mustache.
長塚君。どうしたの？
石田君の名前を叫んでる長塚君の声が聞こえたけど。
そっか。
河合さん、石田君に渡さないと。持ってる？
持ってきたけどダメだよ、あんな出来損ない。
別にいいじゃないか。渡そう。
これ本当はね、全部集めたかったんだけど集まらなくて、みんなに声かけたんだけど。
いやすごいよ。これで十分。俺こんなのもらったことないからすごい嬉しい、マジで。ありがとう河合さん。あとごめん、真柴君も。
いや、君はすごいよ。
君も友情ごっこかよ。鳥肌立ったわ。なんで
Why is she so
そんな言い
miserable?
方するの？は？なんだよ河合、やんのか？ちょっと二人とも。あ、石田君、ごめんね。石田君が大変だったっていうのにまるで変わってない。
そんな、俺だって。
そんな深刻な話してねえよ。また謝った。ま、それがあんたか。バーカ。バカ。あ、もう知らん。唐揚げ食べに行こうっと。逃げた。照れたんだよ。
あのさ、みんなにお願いがあるんだけど、いいかな？みんなで一緒に文化祭見て
Lots of imagery in that last scene. He finally took the earmuffs off, was hearing what was actually going on around him instead of his own interpretation. The X's fell off of people's face. He was finally able to fully immerse himself in his environment. Ueno just didn't ever seem to get there.
No.
But that happened. I mean, there are people who just don't.
Yeah, and that's true. But and I thought it was interesting, and I liked your comment. I know it was like mid-watch, but of like, you're not gonna like everybody. And I think the sooner that you come to that realization that and again, I'm kind of speaking from personal experience, you're not gonna like everybody, and that's okay. But B, not everybody's gonna like you either. And when you can kind of come to a point where you can accept that, I think things get easier because you stop trying to fit in, right? But I do agree that there is a base level of how you treat people that needs to kind of be understood. And I think that's also harder in a friend group. Like, I feel like as you get older, you kind of have the ability to choose your friends and who you spend time with. Like in school, you're kind of around the same group of people, so that dynamic's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was always, there was always friction when she was around.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, you don't have to like her. If you don't like her, you don't like her. As long as you show her respect as a human being.
Well, and especially make it work if you're all friends. Like if it's the same group.
It's Adam's bedtime.
Past my bedtime.
Overall thoughts of the movie.
I didn't enjoy it as much as Your Name.
I agree with you. I liked Your Name better.
I thought it was good. I thought it was more, I don't want to say real because that's not the right word, but the issues, the emotion, the feeling behind it was very, I don't want to say authentic, but I think very real.
Yeah. Your Name was definitely an element of like fantasy, magical realism type stuff. This was like real issues.
And it doesn't always work out.
Yes.
And that's, I mean, I think that's, you know, part of the thing that makes it kind of uncomfortable, but relatable at the same time. Like that wasn't, not that it wasn't enjoyable to watch, but you're constantly waiting, like.
You're uncomfortable a lot.
Yeah. And you're like, you want the characters to connect, and they don't. They miss each other. Something happens. You think they're getting close, and then somebody gets in their own way and like ruins it. And then everybody goes their separate, like, and I think that does happen. I mean, and you see it.
And that's part of the beauty of this piece is that there is, like, I would say overall it was a quote unquote happy ending.
Yeah.
But like, you don't always get to tie up the loose ends. You don't always get to feel good. And like, I think the constant, you know, head scratching moments, the friction, the discomfort, the pain, the sadness, the confusion, the miscommunication, like it was all very real. And while everybody might not be able to relate to these exact situations to a T, I think there are so many parts that people can relate to in some shape or form.
Yeah. And I think the other thing for me, and I think this happens a lot too, is that we always look at situations from our own, like we always place more importance on the effects that we have individually as people. Like how many times in that show or in that movie did you hear like, this happened because of me? And the reality of it is situations have so many moving parts, and you see a situation from one way, and you could see it here. Every character had their own view of the same events, and it's like, I caused this, this, and this, and the other person thinking, I caused this, this, and this, and then you miss the totality of what's happening.
I mean, in one respect, it is a little arrogant to think that you have that much control over things, but at the same time, I think if people just tie up their own stuff and control the things that they can control with integrity to the best of their ability, a lot of those things will be avoided. But at the same time, it's like an over-exaggeration of your own self-importance to an extent.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, again, obviously we're older than the characters. I think that as you gain more perspective and life experience and all of that, those events become easier to kind of see with some clarity. But when you're that young and your whole world is wrapped up in 5 people in this experience, like, it's easier said than done, you know, from where we're sitting.
Well, I hope you guys, if you stuck with us through these 3 parts, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We would love to hear your thoughts and are definitely open to discussing the film and the different parts with you. So please be sure to comment below. As always, we would be so excited if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more anime and movies coming soon. Thanks, guys.